So I hope you found the video course useful and it gave you some insights. I did notice during the demo, I was just watching it again, where I'm talking about various things and then the drawing recaptures me and I just let the trail of thought disappear and I don't come back to it. And that must have happened half a dozen times. Anyway, sorry. But I did want to show you a few more drawings from the pilot that I finished, some before and after drawings, a couple of before, several after, because I think it'll give you a better idea of how to put this practice into action, you could say. I mean, they're not necessarily finished drawings, some of them are, but rather it's a very specific drawing practice. And it'll help you in 4 ways. The first is it's just practice. You do something for 20 minutes every day, you'll start getting better at it. But the second thing I would say is it helps you with the dance of avoidance. That's a term I coined for my book, Creative Authenticity, and it's something that all artists are dealing with. Every time you come in to do your art, you are having to go through this dance of avoidance, all the different things that you put up between you and the practice. And it won't go away. I mean, it's there. It's just every artist deals with it. But you do learn to navigate it. And so if every day you're navigating it, you do start to understand your own psychology and how you're avoiding it. And one of the things, of course, is that by just maybe making the marks for 5 minutes, it's a very easy way to enter the whole process. The third thing is that this practice will help you see more in terms of masses and shapes, more like a right brain way of thinking, you know, if we can still use that term, rather than seeing in terms of subject matter. And of course, number 4, it'll help you with understanding the structure of pictorial logic, of composition. You know, they have that expression, you want to have a map before you go in the woods. And if you go out painting without an idea of what your structure is and just reacting to each thing you see and putting it up there, you are definitely in the woods. And there's 2 other things I wanted to mention too. One was that acetate thing and I realized, well, that's something I did years ago really with 8x10 photographs that I was blowing up and using to paint with. And now, of course, you can just print your digital thing out on a piece of cheap copy paper and put your lines on that. And in fact, phones have apps that just have the grids right in them. And the other thing is a line by Richard Russo, the author. He says, I'm paraphrasing, hunger always outstrips ability. And you remember I showed you those thumbnails, and one of the reasons I showed them is because it was an example of where hunger or impatience was getting in the way of really getting started correctly, because they were so intent on starting, which is great on one hand, of course, that they didn't want to put the planning in practice. So they just did the thumbnail, you know, like this. And Anne Patchett, also another author, has this great line that art stands on the shoulders of craft. And when we think of a craftsperson, say someone working in wood, you know, we think of somebody that's slow and methodical and they know the steps. You know, you measure twice, you cut once. So it's like, while you're doing this drawing practice, slow down. Make the marks with a lot of attention. So take some time daily to make these marks. You'll find that your skill at it improves pretty dramatically and pretty quickly, and you'll find that it really does help your drawing. You can try the demo that I did in the second video, and as you saw, there's 2 more images at the end that you can try. You don't need to do them large. About 4 inches by 6 inches is nice, good size. And you don't have to finish them when you start. You can just take your 20 minutes and put it aside and come back the next day and put another 20 minutes into it. And then in about a week, I'll send you 4 more landscapes, digital images. And landscapes, remember I mentioned, gives us a good sense of depth, you know, so we're carving that sense into the picture plane. So you can practice with those if you like. So this is a discipline. you know, a practice you can bring to your creative process. And as Mary Oliver says, attention is the beginning of devotion. So I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a comment down below of what you thought of the course, what you thought of the videos. I'm planning to create a 6-week online course of this material, and if you're interested in that, you could leave that note down below as well. So good luck, best wishes, and bye for now.